What's up, man?
So yeah, OKC loses this one in a terrible fashion. Not a great way to start my evening here on the East Coast, but yeah, they dropped to the Lakers at home, 126-99. Terrible showing. I'll get into some stats for the Lakers to start. Actually, you know what? No, let's talk about our guys first here. Screw the Lakers. Shai extends his 20-plus streak to, what is it? How many? 71 games straight. Just already beat Jordan's record, but he's going for more. He goes with 26 points and 9 assists on 12 of 23 shooting. And then the rest of the guys, man, the rest of the guys today. Jalen Williams, 4 for 14 from the field, 16 points. Got to the line a lot. He was very aggressive in that second half. Terrible first half, went 2 for 11. Chet, pretty much a non-existent, 10 points. That's because of that damn double big lineup that I hate so much. It makes him a non-factor, which you want to make your second overall pick and your maybe second best player a non-factor in the game on purpose. You need to go adjust that, Coach Mark Daigneault. The bench got outscored by a lot. I'm not even going to get into that specifically. But what a terrible game today. An embarrassment. As Xavier and I were saying, Gabe, we were saying during the game, maybe this was Coach Mark not showing our actual lineups and matchups that we're going to be playing against the Lakers because, it's a probable playoff matchup. And I mean, that was kind of proven because he made 0 adjustments through the game. I hope that's the case of why he didn't make any adjustments throughout the game, but I'll let you guys take it from there.
Yeah. It's been a long time since before I get going here, I just want to apologize to everybody. My quality is probably not the best. I don't have my mic, so my audio might not be the best.
You sound good, man. You sound good.
All right. Just making sure. But yeah, this was one of those games where the game started, flow was going, it was all right, it was kind of close, but once it started kind of slipping away, there was that like 5-10 minute span where I was pretty upset. The rest of the game, it was just emotionless. I mean, there was just not much anger anymore. It was just like, it kind of started off for me. The thing that really blew me away was you can't beat a team that's shooting nearly 70% from 3 at halftime. Absurd. 68% from 3 going into half. That's just ridiculous.
Franchise record, tied to franchise record.
Just everybody was getting their licks in. It was like, and yeah, we had problems. Defense was absolutely non-existent, leaving wide open shooters. But the other thing was we weren't just like all their threes weren't just coming from wide open shooters. I mean, they were just genuinely hitting everything. So, I mean, I'm going to start by tipping my hat to LA, honestly. That's impressive. Like you can't say that they got lucky. Maybe here and there, but they just wanted it more today, in my opinion. They flat out needed this win. We didn't. That's not an excuse for why we lost this game by any means. However, it showed that they needed this win. They're fighting for, I mean, as you guys know, the entire seeds 3 through 11 at this point in the West are all fighting for something, but LA needed this one. They really did. And by all means, did they earn it because we just didn't show up. I mean, we played with less urgency, regardless of if it's what you guys said, if it's, Mark kind of hiding things, less serious game. Regardless of that, every game matters. It doesn't matter if it's game 1, if it's game 82. Every single game in the season matters. So this, regardless of if that's what it was or not, this was just disappointing. I mean, really, this kind of brings up that debate again of, okay, OKC's got Shai. He's pretty great. Who's next? Because someone's got to step up more than what J-Dub did. J-Dub, everyone's been saying that Chet's better than J-Dub, and I get that. I've always been kind of a bit of a J-Dub truther, as I like to call myself. I'm a big J-Dub guy. I really like him. Not good enough. Not at all. A lot of bad shots, a lot of bad shot selections, just not at all what he should be doing. But I'm not just going to sit here and put him on fire like it was all J-Dub. I mean, nobody outside of Shai, and this wasn't even a good game for Shai. I mean, 26 points, don't get me wrong. Good job.
I don't even understand how you got to 26 without free throws.
Yeah, that's
well, he needs his free throws to score. He needs his free throws to score.
No, that's something else I want to get into, though. All I'm seeing on media is everything about this is Shai's first game without a free throw since 2021. Shai, no free throw. Shai's without a free throw and they lose. stop. Please stop. I'm gonna crash out. Like, I can't handle that, bro. Stop posting that shit. Like,
Get off the socials, Gabe. It's just gonna be
I
a bunch of
know.
nonsense.
My phone, outside of using it for stats right now, I've muted damn near every social media. I'm not checking shit. But
I just left the text group chat.
yeah, no, for real. But I mean, just all around, like, what happens is when a team gets off to the start that LA did, the momentum is just too much. They built this giant lead to the point where when you're making a comeback, right, you're down by, let's say, double digits, you're by 10, you're down by 12, you need the other team to either shut down and start playing bad on their own, or your defense holds them just long enough for you to get back into the game. When you go down by 20 points and they're shooting that way from 3, you need that team to completely go ice cold just so you can get even within single digits. Like, it's not saying that it's over and you just can't win a game, but being down by the way we were within that second quarter,
their biggest lead was 29 points.
That's you when you see something like that, and obviously that's a pretty straightforward statement. Like, you're down by a lot, it's hard to win. Like, yeah, that makes sense. But there's a difference between being down and being able to mount a comeback and being down in a situation like this where everyone was hot. We were struggling just to stay in front of people. Like, that's not just being down. You're in a position where you now have an absolute mountain to climb just to cut a game to single digits. And that at halftime, that's how it felt. Like, at halftime, I was like, I hate saying it, but we're not winning. Like, you just can't. The odds are so stacked against you in a situation like that. And I love this team. I love win or lose. I love this team. No matter how bad we lose, always love every single guy on this team. This just wasn't us. And it's unfortunate it came right off that Houston game, because that wasn't fun either. But this just wasn't us. And I see a lot of people saying, like, should we freak out? Should we not freak out? Yes and no. This was concerning. This sucked. In my opinion, this sucked. This was a back-to-back loss towards the end of the season. Might not have been given it our all in that situation, but LA is a serious opponent. We're going to see them. Odds are high that we're going to see them. I don't want to see us saving our secret matchups because we're worried about them figuring it out. I want to beat them. I want to beat them bad. Like, every time we play them, especially LA, there is motive behind LA. LA, I respect the hell out of that team, the players, the coaches. They are a great organization. They don't respect us. And they just proved it. They just they just belt ass. Like, they just took us to town. Like, and they don't respect us. And that kind of showed why. Like, that's where it sucks.
We can focus on some positives here, though. I'd like to mention the double big is not going to work against this team. We figured that out, I hope. Start of the second quarter, end of the second quarter, we had that small ball lineup in, and we were cutting the lead. I think we cut it down to like 8 points or so. And then we went right back into the double big. So the small ball lineup against LA looked very good, I would like to say, even on a very off day. So I will say that's a promising thing. Another promising feature to this game was Shai 26 without the free throws. Yes, guys, he's going to get fouled. He's going to get to the line. He's going to force the action in the playoffs. He was taking it a little easy today. I hate it. I'm on Gabe's side here. I like to blow teams out. I like to win every game we can. But there's a lot of good takeaways. We can get from this game, and those are two of them. I would like to see one last game of this team against the Lakers. I want to, come out and play our best, full roster, and then we can start resting. But I would like to see one last game against the Lakers here.
I agree. Yeah,
I want to jump in here real quick about Gabe, your point about how much this mattered to the Lakers. The difference between them winning and losing this game, truthfully, is with how many games left in the season, with only 4 games left for us, is the fact that they could have been all the way down into the play-in if they lost this game. They lose this one, they lose another one against us, and then they slide against the Mavericks. Boom. You're in a play-in scenario. So this is how meaningful this game was. That's not going to be as understood by national media analysts or whatever, but we definitely want to point out, like, this was a playoff matchup pretty much for them. They wanted to avoid that play-in at all costs. And you can see that with JJ. You can call it disrespect or whatever, but he left his starters in until about 2 minutes left into the game.
Good on him. I don't think that's disrespect. Seriously.
Yeah,
they're making a message.
I don't think of it
I
from
said the same thing. They were making a statement at the end there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm cool with them making a statement or whatever, but this is my point was more towards how much this game meant to them.
Yeah.
Of, hey, we don't even want to give you guys a glimmer of hope.
Yeah.
Like every time we even mounted a lead, they just kept their starters in as much as they possibly could.
Yeah.
So I thought it was still impressive. You know, we definitely saw that the double big did not work because every time those guys weren't on the floor together, we mounted some sort of comeback or some semblance of a comeback. So there is a positive from that standpoint as well.
I would also say that obviously the goal in basketball is you win games, you get a better seed, you get a better matchup. I do think it's very telling at how important it is for them to stay high. They can disrespect us all they want. I don't think they want us in the playoffs. I think in a 7-game series, it's very different. I sat here talking about how bad we got beat today. I really still feel like we would beat any team in the West in a 7-game series. And that includes this Lakers team, despite how this game just went. So I think them putting in that statement, keeping those starters in, that's just more of a statement to us, to the fact that teams don't want that low seed. Like, again, obviously the goal in basketball is to get a good seed. So I'm not saying that we're the only reason that they want to win, but beating us in this game is the difference between having a matchup potentially against us in the first round or playing a team more like, maybe the Clippers or maybe a low-level team that they're less worried about.
I kind of want to carry off that 7-game series, meaning, all right, so for everyone listening, I'm sure most of you are OKC fans, and you could date back to last year's second round, first game. OKC beat Dallas by 22 points. They blew them out of the park and ended up losing that game in 6. So one regular season game losing by 27 points is not going to, we're done. We can't beat them. They shot a franchise record of threes. They're going to do it every game of that game. That 7-game series, they're going to sweep us. That's not how it works. I also wanted to get into this question by Ralph Films here. This is a question that is way too early to be asked. My reasoning is because we are the best team in the NBA, Ralph.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen us in the playoffs yet. If we have another miserable playoff outing against this team and get 5'd or swept or just look bad, then we could start talking about, okay, maybe we need another star. But for now, let's pull it back a little bit and let this team run through the playoffs.
Absolutely.
We're also still way too young to even consider in terms of cap flexibility. There's so many issues with bringing KD. Yeah. Also, simply put, KD needs us more than we need KD at the age that he's at. He's still performing from a points per game perspective or whatever, but from like an impact, how much defensive impact is he going to have on the team? Offensively, we know what he's bringing, but in the playoffs, he's been pretty lackluster in the last couple go-arounds from what I've seen. He got dogged by the Celtics, whatever. We're not going to get too much into him, but I don't think he's someone worth considering. Considering we're about to go into we just went from our best season in Thunder history going into a great playoff run. We have the perfect seeding that we want. We're first seed. We get home court throughout the West playoffs and even into the finals. So not worried about him, not worried about these Lakers, not worried about a dang thing right now.
Yeah, let's rear back a little bit. It was one regular season game. Mm-hmm. We'll start talking about more into the offseason. We'll see if we need him or not. Let the KD talks and all that go. Ralph, also re-download Instagram, man. Like, it's gonna be like that for 2 days. We'll see them again on Tuesday. We'll win. Don't worry. Yeah. Anyway, so I don't know. I've been talking about this game for almost 3 hours now. My mind still hasn't changed. I'm pretty disgusted, but I'm just going to keep on rolling. We're the best team in the league for a reason. It's the end of the season. The Lakers are fighting. They were a game and a half. They were a game and a half in front of 8th place as the 3rd seed. Hello, puppy. Sorry. They were a game and a half in front of the 8th seed. They're fighting. They don't want to be in the play-in. Nobody wants to go in the play-in for no reason. The Nuggets are a game behind the Lakers. They're a game in front of 8th seed. Like, all those teams are going to be fighting for their lives. We're 15 games up about, And you think like, yeah, we'd like to win this game, but is it the worst to get out of the game healthy and get to play them again on Tuesday? No, it's not. So keep an optimistic mindset.
And we can still
remember what you've seen. Remember what you've seen this whole season. Remember the team that swept Boston this season. Remember the team that beat Denver 2 times this season. Remember the team that beat the Lakers already this season. I know it was a different team, but we are that team, guys. We are them. Just remember that. It was one game. Let it go.
Yep.
Yeah. We're also 29-1 against the whole Eastern Conference. We can rattle off a bunch of historic stats from an NBA perspective, but at the end of the day, like, we kind of have a large enough sample size to know who we are, what we can do. We've seen that from Shai's consistency, the team's consistency overall. When it comes to a 7-game series, I mean, if we can beat this LA team here on Tuesday, we can still, I guess, ruin some of their chances to, I guess, have the seeding that they would probably prefer, which is 3 seed, and avoid us in the second round. No matter how these Lakers fans are talking, they don't want to see us in the second round matchup.
No. And they're going to, after Tuesday, they're going to be like, oh, what were we talking about? Like, oh, maybe we're a little too confident. This Laker team is very inconsistent, guys. Very inconsistent. They came out with their best today. Shai didn't get to the line once. He got clobbered on one, but other than that, he really wasn't forcing any action. Okay, and we know that he will, and he will do it efficiently. Okay, it wasn't the Thunder team that we've all seen and known. And I think that was on purpose.
Consistent minutes from Wiggins, Joe. Jay will probably be back soon here. We'll have a full roster and lineup with way more adjustments, way more intensity. And in a case and scenario like that, no team wants to see us.
But we're not overreacting over here. We are staying in the reality of what is. We are the best team in the NBA. We're not going to freak out over one game. Right. We're just going to keep on moving. We're going to finish the season with over almost 70 wins, the best ever in OKC history. And we're going to go into the first round, whoever it may be, and then we're going to turn the F up. We're going to go nuts in that first round. I guarantee it.
Yeah. I mean, taking LA, it takes LA to have probably their best game of the season and us to have our worst game of the season. And that's what happened here. I mean, you can talk about the stats all you want. You can talk about how the game looked, the eye test, all that fun stuff. But this was just, I don't want to use the word fluke because games like this can happen, but this was not normal. If there's a 7-game series against LA, they're not shooting 56% from 3 on the series. No team is doing that. And if they are, no one stopped them.
God bless them. God bless them.
Exactly. So you can't expect that out of a team. All these LA fans that are freaking out saying LA in 5, LA in 4, let me know. Come back to me when you guys are shooting like 28% from 3 in the first half of a game instead, and let me know if you're still going to win in 5 because you're not keeping this up. I mean, LA, like I said earlier, I respect them. One of the best parts about that team that I think people aren't understanding is how good Austin Reeves is. Austin Reeves is an incredibly deadly third option. That guy's crazy. Like LeBron, LeBron took a back seat in this game. But that's my point. These guys tied their record for 3.5. Everyone's cooking, everyone's popping off 55% from 3 in the game itself. Meanwhile, for us, we just can't quite find our groove. Probably our worst game of the season, and that's what leads to this loss. This isn't something to freak out about because it's not normal. We've proven all season what normal is for us, and what normal is for us is exceptional. I mean, once we hit the playoffs and we get back into normal, I think everyone's going to quickly see that our normal in the playoffs is going to be pretty much everyone else is exceptional. So it'll be good to see once we hit the playoffs, once we actually start playing the way we know we can. This loss sucked. Get over it. We got another game coming up against them again. I mean, it's not going to go the same way. So
here's the one thing we could talk about, right? If you really want to pick problems out of this game, which is okay, just have them be rational, and we could talk about them. Is J-Dub needs to score at least 20 points on Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
I think we are going to see that in the playoffs, and especially on Tuesday. He was kind of dogging him in the second half, but that first half he was 2 for 11 settling. But I think he realized what he could do towards the end of the game. And we need to get Chet in optimal scoring positions and defending positions as well, because he hasn't been there. So look for bigger games from honestly, SGA, Chet, and J-Dub on Tuesday especially.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of holes on that Laker defense that we could attack, and we just didn't today. We didn't make the adjustments to. We didn't bother to. There's also a lot of adjustments on defense that we could have. I'm going to say right now, if Casey Wallace isn't in the starting lineup on Tuesday, we have a problem. That's a coaching problem. But I think he will be in the starting lineup on Tuesday alongside Dub and Dort. And we'll lock down on Tuesday, and we'll get it going.
Yeah, he was tied for us tonight for minutes played, so it was pretty clear that he was getting the minutes he deserved. But I mean, it's like you said, they have weaknesses. One of them, we need to be our bigs need to be more attacking more. I mean, Jackson Hayes ain't holding it down by himself. Like, he does have a surprisingly good. He keeps the people he's guarding in the paint at a pretty low field goal percentage, and I'll give him that. But we got 2 7-footers. Like, we got to be attacking more. And the thing that really bothered me with this game, Chet played 25 minutes and had 3 rebounds. You got to be more aggressive, man.
It's because of the double big lineup. He was out on the 3-point line all game. Like, he's not going to get rebounds out there. It's just
I just when playoffs get here, I need to see the big 3 be the big 3, because that's my biggest worry. Is honestly, I've said this in another episode, I'm less concerned about our bench performing than I am about our big 3 performing consistently. We have such good depth that I feel like their contributions can still help when they underperform. But if our big 3 underperforms, it's going to be significantly more difficult. Shai can average 35 all series long. If J-Dub and Chet don't do their work, we will not win a series. I mean, those guys have got to be the players that we know they are. And the other thing is, they're both capable of being significantly better than what we need. I mean, J-Dub, for example, like last year, a lot of people, gave the blame to J-Dub. I don't see that happening this year. I think he's matured. I think he's become a much better player. And I think when playoffs come, he's going to show that. So for me, it's going to come down to Chet. How can Chet evolve as a player in the playoffs? I mean, we know how good he can be, and we know how good he's capable of being, but I need to see more out of him, which also comes down to Mark. It's not just him. The double big lineup cannot happen in situations like that.
So with that, if you go back to that Boston game in TD just a few weeks ago, Chet was the man, shooting threes, taking off the dribble, in the dunker spot. Just get him in the right spots, and he will dominate. Last year's playoffs, that can't happen. Sorry, guys. Last year's playoffs, he was probably our second best player, and he was in his first year playing, rookie season, right? Sure. So they're going to take the leap in the playoffs. They're going to get him in the right spots. I just think I don't know what to tell you about the double lineup. I can't explain it to you. Double big lineup. I can't explain it to you. But those 2 players will excel in the playoffs this year. They will take a leap, and it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, the double big. Here's what I'll say. It can work. It shouldn't start. It should never start. It should be used.
It's more of a situational lineup than anything.
Precisely, like against the Bucks, it worked, but against everybody else, it's not going to work.
It should never start the game. Now, if we see there's an obvious size comparison or a size issue during the game, try it. That's okay. You throw it in there. It should never start a game. Hartenstein came to this team knowing damn well he would not be starting most likely. He's not going to throw a fit. He's proven that he can work perfectly fine. He's going to get starter level minutes off the bench. There's no reason that we should be starting the double big. I do think it can work upon adjustments, but it should not.
Here's the thing.
Start one game.
Here's the thing. If in this day's NBA, if you want to run a double big lineup, they both have to be able to post up, make a move, and get their own. Our bigs, that's not really their cup of tea. That's not how they play. Chet, dunker spot, alley-oops, 3-point line, post fades. Hartenstein is more of on the perimeter, backdoor cuts, mid-paint floater, dunk spot.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to go get one-on-one. Oh, I'm going to back this guy down, drop step, spin move. No. Why have 2 of those guys in at the same time if they're not bucket getters per se? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And with Hart especially, outside of Hart's incredible playmaking ability, he is a very traditional center. He's a hard fighter. He fights in the paint. He goes for rebounds, but he can't shoot. I mean, he's got the mid-range. I'm not going to call that a shot. He's got the floater type shot, the shot put, but
right.
He can't. I love the guy. We brought him here because we needed help with rebounding and we needed a big. That's why he's here. At no point does he need to be in with Chet at the same time in a starting lineup, because not only does Chet now have to play out of position, but Hart can't stretch. He cannot stretch the court. So we're losing any. I mean, the big can pretty much just sit back and wait, because Hart's forced into either making one of those passes, which don't get me wrong, I love when he threads the needle. He forces that sometimes. He does.
Yeah,
He'll force those passes. And that's what bigs try to do. They can sag off of him because he's not going to shoot. So he's either going to go for a really tough pass or he's going to have to give it up. And that's just not how we should be playing. Hart should be our cleanup crew, our big man who comes in when Chet's tired and just eats up on the boards. That's how he needs to be.
Yeah, and utilize around A-Dub to create some great driving lanes, things like that. That's where he's best utilized. But, I mean, this is just one regular season NBA game. Me personally, I'm not too worried about it either way. I know what we'll be doing here in the playoffs pretty shortly.
Just take the loss on the chin, move on, play Tuesday, and then playoffs. Like
exactly. And for playoffs wise, like that's where we just need all these guys to step up, play the way they know how to, and I'm sure they will. They understand the urgency in that scenario. So I'm not worried at all.
I would agree. I'm not worried at all. I do think it will come down to who that first matchup is, though, in terms of how the rest of our run will go. If we get I can't really say easier team. Every team in the West is good, but if we get one of those teams,
Sacramento.
If we get one of those teams that we match up better with, that will not just be nice because we'll get the win, but it'll be nice so we can figure out what we are, what the new playoff expectation is. So we'll see who we get at it, but regardless, I still think OKC will take any team in a 7-game series. It's just going to come down to how will we do it.
Right. Okay. Well, with that being said, again, 27-point loss today, but let's just look forward to Tuesday. Don't spiral out. Don't get into arguments on Twitter or socials. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Try your best. Ralph Films, you made my day today. I really appreciated that comment. Also, for everyone listening, most of you stuck around for the whole 3 hours. So amazing. Really appreciate all of you guys. One last time, if you're enjoying being with us, go leave a subscribe on the YouTube and then follow us on all socials, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, Facebook, any social you got, we're on there. At Bring the Thunder Podcast. Twitter, we are at BTT Podcast _. But yeah, rough one. Looking real forward to Tuesday. And other than that, you guys got anything left to say?
No,
well,
I think so. Keep your heads up, fellas.
Yeah, for anyone who's new, don't be jump scared, but thunder up, baby, let's go!
Don't be jump scared.